Hello guys, InstantlyLow here. Today we're going to cover how to efficiently make use of the different daily bonuses or buffs in Trove. I will also cover different time-gated quests and tasks which you should be doing on a weekly or daily basis to capitalize on these rewards. This video will be a part of my beginner's guide series, in which I will be discussing some basic mechanics of the game not covered by the tutorial, in order to increase the game knowledge of Trove's newer players. This series will also serve as a precursor to my Trove playthrough series, wherein I will be leveling up a fresh account. So please leave in the comments any suggestions as to the type of guides you guys would like to see, and I'll try my best to deliver. Moving right on to the guide, let's talk about Monday's bonuses. Monday is a pretty special day, as it is also the day on which the weekly reset occurs. On this day, you will receive rewards from the weekly contest, which I will cover later on in the video. Monday will also unlock the weekly time-gated delve rewards. Although you can farm your delve rewards at any point during the week, you will typically want to farm your 18 delve depths on Monday, both due to the increase in other delve rewards you'll be getting along the way, but also due to it being a lot easier to find delve parties on this day. Aside from completing your weekly delves, Monday would also be the day to farm Inert Geode. Inert Geode is dropped randomly from monsters and delves and in the vault at the end of each delve floor. These Inert Geodes can be used to craft and unlock allies, mount, and banners, and many other things from the delve workbench. So if you are in need of Inert Geode to complete this bench, Monday would be the day to hop into delves. The most optimal activity which you can partake in on Monday would be Shadow Shard farming, or SSF. Shadow Shard farming is usually done with a party, and you can find one in the delve chat. It entails looping a specific floor of the challenge delve and collecting these shards using your Neon Ninja. SSF can only be done with the Neon Ninja class, but during SSF you'll be collecting a boatload of crystals, which is also important for Geode progress. The Shadow Shards themselves can either be sold for flux or used to craft Shadow Caches. These Shadows caches in turn will grant you resources to craft different costumes and mounts or allies in the shadowy market. Gathering Day in Trove is the day with the highest potential for earning flux at all stages of the game. However, Trove being as grindy as it is, during the early game the majority of the resources you gather will be used to progress in the game. I recommend only selling the resources you farm if you have already crafted everything you need to craft using them. For early game players, the best resources to farm on Tuesday would be Radiant Shards, Radiant Caches, or Nitroglycerine. Nitro can be farmed by joining Ganda trains using the Ganda chat, and Radiant Shards are farmed by killing Radiant Giants in the Radiant Ruins biome. Later on in the game, depending on what you have access to, you might want to partake in either Geode Cave runs or Moonlight Bulb farming. Geode Cave runs usually venture into Tier 5 Geode Caves, where you can farm large amounts of rare Geode ore, such as Ancient Gears or Builderite. Moonlight bulbs are used to craft plants in the gardening bench, and are usually farmed in the open world, spawning most commonly in the Fey or Ice biomes. There are definitely more resources that are affected by Tuesday's bonus, but the ones I have listed here are a few of the most optimal things to farm during the early or late game of Trove. Wednesday is another really important day in terms of your Trove progression. Your character's power rank is in large part based on the strength of your gems, so Gem Day is the best day to work on increasing it. The increased gem box drop chance makes it worthwhile to farm your gem boxes in the elemental U9 worlds or in U10 if you're able to clear those dungeons quickly enough. More gem boxes equals more gem dust or stronger gems, which you can then use to upgrade your gems and really push up your PR. One thing to remember during Gem Day is to always collect your lustrous gem boxes. The lustrous boxes will drop materials that can be used to augment or modify your gems, saving you resources that you would otherwise have to use to craft these materials. Lastly, because of the reduced cost of upgrading gems on Wednesday, you're able to use a method allowing you to essentially trade flux for gem dust, saving you hours of gem box farming. Due to the reduced cost of upgrading gems, if you get a radiant tier or higher gems to level 15 and loot collect them, you end up making a profit in terms of gem dust. Be careful though, because this method would eat through your flux. Thursday is Adventure Day and is a little less intense in terms of things you can do in comparison to the early days of the week. The main thing to be mindful of is the buff to the amount of adventurine you get from completing quests. You want to complete all your daily adventures from open world NPCs, as well as the maximum amount of club quests you can complete in a day. This adventurine can be used in crafting more allies, mounts, and even a dragon at the club merchant. Adventurine is also used by clubs to pay rent on club fixtures, which give members a bunch of free attributes. Dragon Day is extremely important for progression. Dragons in Trove are something which you're going to be working on from the early game through the very end game. Dragons are powerful because of the insane amount of masteries they provide, with each of the over 40 dragons in the game providing you at least 250 mastery points. Additionally, each one of the dragons provide free stats to all classes on your account, with each dragon giving you a magic find, a valuable stat for the endgame. You want to try and complete as many of the hourly dragon challenges as you can on this day. These challenges are going to give you dragon coins and dragon caches, helping you make a great deal of progress towards dragons you haven't yet unlocked. Additionally, you have a high chance of dropping fragments for dragons or dragon eggs that have to be farmed. Some of these charts can even be loot collected for a good amount of flux. Saturday's XP boost prior to the Paragon update was useless for many endgame players who had already gotten their characters to level 30. However, the introduction of Prime levels and Paragon Pinatas means you have to be farming XP on Saturdays and trying to farm it as efficiently as possible. For early game players, in order to unlock these Prime levels, you must first get your classes up to level 30. Pushing these levels is most efficiently done on Saturday, and the method for this is to play Bomber Royale games until level 20, after which you join 5-star dungeon farms in the 5-farm chat to gain your remaining levels. After this point, the easiest way to farm EXP for your Prime levels will be through 5 farms on Saturdays, making sure to stay in range of the dungeon quest in order to maximize your hourly experience gain. 5 farms are also a nice way to get crystalline cores, which are going to be useful for upgrading your crystal gear later in the game. Loot day is a big hit or miss depending on where you are in the game. If you're an endgame player already having a high amount of magic find and a speed farmer that can breeze through U10, then Sunday ends up being a day in which you can make a lot of flux. However, an early game player would probably think of these bonuses as a bit lackluster. Though the increased chaos drop chances are nice, there really isn't much that you can do on this day other than U10 farming. So for newer players who don't have high enough magic finds to be farming U10, this will be a flex day where you can choose to farm whatever it is you enjoy farming or feel up to farming on this day. Some things you can do are 5 farm, farming gem boxes and hoarding them for Wednesday, or maybe even fishing to get those rare fish. Now, regardless of the daily bonus, there are a few things I should try to do each day you log into Trove. There are some daily quests found in different parts of the game. The quests are as follows. You have a maximum of 20 regular adventure quests, which you're able to pick up from NPCs in club worlds that have them spawned. These quests typically have a higher chance of dropping locked adventuring boxes. You also have 20 different Trove agency adventure quests, which can be taken by talking to these NPCs at the spawn point of almost every open world map in the game. Each of these quests can be completed once a day, so I advise you to work your way up the worlds completing each of their quests. Next are the Geodan Guild adventures, which can be picked up from these 3 fellas. You have a limit of 5 total quests from these guys, and you can mix these 5 quests up whichever way you desire. I usually find the critic quest to be the easiest one to complete, so I just do 5 of those. Lastly, you also want to try and complete 3 5-star dungeons daily in order to receive the 3 time-gated rewards for completing them. The first 3 5-star dungeons you complete will give you 14 crystalline cores, dropping down to only 1 for each 5-star dungeon after the first 3. So those 3 first ones are definitely worth doing. You also want to complete your 1 daily Bomber Royale quest from the NPC in the hub, which will reward you with a dragon fragment for the Bomber Royale dragon. Next, there are some weekly things you need to do in order to get access to Trove weekly time-gated rewards. One of these rewards I mentioned were the weekly Delve rewards. After completing 18 Delve Depths, you will gain 117 Titan Souls, 18 Lunar Souls, and 5 Despoiled Divinities. And your first 18 Delve Depths of the week are the only way you're going to be able to unlock these materials that are really important to progress in many aspects of the game. So make sure you do your Delves each week. Players typically take care of them on Monday, and you can often find groups by joining the Delve chat. Lastly, you're going to want to do your weekly effort contest. 3 randomly selected classes each week will give you rewards for reaching 125 effort on these characters. Effort is obtained through challenges, dungeons, and delves. You can also knock out farming 125 effort on each class by completing your weekly Delve Depths using the class in that week's contest, killing 2 birds in 1 stone. Otherwise, just use the characters in 5 farm or while farming dungeons to get your effort up to at least 125. These contests will give you empowered gem boxes and bound brilliance, which will be very helpful in progressing your power rank. So that's all I have for how to take advantage of Trove's daily bonuses and weekly resets. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything and leave suggestions for any more guides you guys would like to see. Subscribe to get notified for when I post new content, and thank you very much for watching.